gentlemen, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Game's in the Admiral refrigerator. The door is closed. The lights out. Butter's getting hard. The eggs are cooling, and the Jell-O is jiggling.
Hi, this is Stu Lance. Get ready for the Skyhook Podcast with your hosts, Cap and Coop, and their Showtime coach, Pat Riley.
What's going on, Coach? How you feeling?
It's good, Cap. How you feeling, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you kids?
I'm loving your newsletter every day. I get my best Netflix out of you. Yeah, that'd be
That's
great.
cool.
I happen to be in Malibu, and I'm waiting for this trip to Hawaii. And I got something in store for all of you.
Long as it doesn't include running.
Yes, it will. Look at all those years. Hey, Cap.
I'm going to back out right now.
Hey, Cap. Do you have
Me and Coop. We're backing out right now.
Any metal hips or metal knees or anything?
I have a metal hip. Yeah.
I have a metal hip. So I have a metal hip. I had 4 knee operations after I coached you guys. I did more running than you.
I got 2 metal hips.
You got 2 metal hips?
Yeah, I had a hip replacement
but
3 years ago, my right and my left last year.
Oh, man.
I played for 20 years. I know,
Cap. Look,
don't try.
The only time you ever got hurt is when you hit a guy in the face, and then you sprain your ankles in Game 5. You know, and you're as durable as anybody.
1980.
Yeah.
Ready, Cap?
I'm ready when you are, boss.
No, it's your thing. You go. You start it.
Here's the first question that I wanted to ask you. What was it like being a kid from upstate New York and going down to Kentucky to the Lily White South and playing basketball in the early 1960s? I mean, what was that like for you?
Well, first of all, I was raised in Schenectady, New York, Albany, Troy, Schenectady area, the Tri-Cities, they called it, blue collar, really work town, General Electric, the Alco. You know, that's when they built turbines up there. And so it was that kind of community. The only time I ever got down to, and then I got down to New York City, Walt Prisbo, my head coach, used to take us down to the holiday festival and Christmas, and we'd watch those games. And my dad, back in the mid 50s, we used to take the train down and see Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris and Whitey Ford at Yankee Stadium. So that's the only time I was out of Schenectady. And then when I went to Kentucky, you talk about a culture shock for me. I was scared to death to go down there. I'd heard about it, but it was a great basketball school, and it launched me into the NBA. So Adolph Rupp was a great coach at that time. I think Coach Wooden was.
What made Adolph, in your opinion, what made Adolph so good?
Well, I think the same thing that all of us had with coaches in that era. He was tremendously disciplined, repetition, every single day. You had to be there 30 minutes before the practice started. And we used to have a shooting drill, Coop, and Cap, you'd probably like this. We used to have a shooting drill where we'd shoot for 15 straight minutes, jumpers. You had to follow your shot, and if it hit the floor before you caught it, everybody would have to run the stairs. So
like this on misses too, Coach?
Yeah. No, you had to catch them on misses. So if you miss badly, you had to chase it down. And if the ball hit the floor, everybody heard it, they'd look over and the players would like groan. And we just started running up the stairs. We run right back down into the drill.
Well, I'm glad that's one you left out on us, because that wouldn't have worked.
Whoa.
No, I think you guys would have rebelled on that one.
Yeah, I would have been on the bus back to New York, you know.
But Cap, it was the final answer in your question. You know, I was very fortunate, really fortunate. And during that period of time, Cap, you were 12, I think, or 13. I was 15, from the 60s to the 70s. And we know what that decade was like, you know, from just a societal standpoint. But I was all about hoops. I was all about basketball. When I went to Kentucky, you know, one of the greatest games ever in the history of the game was when Kentucky played Texas Western in 1966. David Lattin, Neville the Shadow Shed, Willie Cager, Willie Worsley, Austin Artis, Harry Flournoy, Mike. He was a player that guarded me. Yeah.
Bobby Joe Hill.
Yeah, Bobby Joe Hill. I'm sorry. Yeah. And he reminded me of the guy that you had at Power Memorial, John Hayes, at that time, back in 1963. But Coop, it was just an incredible time, from that standpoint when Cap and I were raised.
Hey, Riles, let me ask you this: was basketball your first love? Because you said your dad grew up and you were looking at baseball, so basketball was your love. That's the one you followed.
Well, my father was a baseball player, minor league player, never made it to the majors in the Philadelphia Philly organization. He managed the Schenectady Blue Jays in Schenectady, New York. And then in probably the first 7 years of my life, I went to some other burg, some other little city where he had to manage. So we just followed him around in his station wagon until we settled in Schenectady. So he was a baseball manager. He wanted me to play baseball, but he wanted me to catch. And he taught me how to catch without a face mask.
Wow.
Wow, that's what happened to you, huh?
Yeah, well, that's what happened to me, Ken. I didn't get hit in the head a couple of times, but he'd have somebody pitch to me and he'd swing the bat and miss it by 3 feet just to get my attention. Then he would put a mask on me. But he found out that I loved football first. I was a quarterback. I love football. I love track and field. I didn't really like baseball. I could either hit home runs or strike out. That was it. And then basketball. But when Adolph Rupp came up and told my mom, "Don't worry, I'll take care of Pat. He's going to get an education. He's going to make All-American, all that stuff." You know what they do, Cap, when they come and recruit. And the next thing my mother said, "You're going to Kentucky." She didn't know anything about Kentucky, but she said, "You're going to Kentucky."
Pat, you and I played against each other in 1961 when I was a freshman in high school and you were a senior. Yeah. And, tell Coop what happened at that game. To hear the rest of the interview, please click the subscribe button below. If you're already a subscriber, thanks for your support. If not, sign up today so you don't miss any of the exciting interviews with Coach Pat Riley, General Manager Jerry West, all of my Showtime teammates, and some surprise NBA legends.
Be sure to watch Legacy, the true story of the LA Lakers, only on Hulu.